There is no more drilling.
Ron DeSanctimonious at...
And I tell you what.
I'm running for the U.S. Senate, kid. I need all the help I can get.
Oh, the question continues. Trump or DeSantis in 2024? And unfortunately, that's starting way earlier than even the midterms now. Also, the midterms are tomorrow. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, pretty much everybody taking the stump over the weekend. We've got some clips of that. One of the weirdest campaign ads I've ever seen in my life, and a bunch more on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is November 7th, the year of our Lord 2022, the day before midterms. But that's not really the thing anymore. We can talk about how elections are run and how I think they should be run. My wife and I filled out our ballots yesterday. We live in California, and it is insane that we vote the way that we do. It's crazy to me that you don't just go to a polling place, show your identification that says that I'm allowed to vote in this election. You vote in private and then slip your thing into the little ballot. That's a whole different conversation for a different time. But the way that we vote currently is crazy and could possibly, actually, and I'm not a hyperbolist, lead to the downfall of the country. In that, if we don't believe the votes, we don't have anything. It doesn't matter who wins. If nobody believes the election results, we all lose. Anyways, I want to get to this conversation because I feel like this is the big one that's happening right now in front of our eyes, whether we like it or not. Last Friday, we had a big announcement, not a big announcement. Jonathan Swan of Axios, who is, regardless of what you think about him politically, a serious journalist. The guy really, really tries to get things right. He said that he had 3 sources close to or in the Trump camp saying that Donald Trump currently plans to announce on November 14th that he's running for president. This is going to get interesting. I'm curious in the comment section what y'all think about Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis. They're both going to run. That should be go without saying. I think there was a lot of hope among a lot of people, and I don't know. I have an opinion here, but I'm going to try to leave this as open-ended as possible. There's a lot of people that during the summer of this year were hoping that Donald Trump would act like he's going to run, raise a bunch of money, and then hopefully endorse Ron DeSantis, who is substantially younger and a sitting governor of a very popular state. Anyways, bottom line here is this is not going to be fun. This is from that Axios article that dropped on Friday. Former President Trump's inner circle is discussing announcing the launch of the 2024 presidential campaign on November 14th, with the official announcement possibly followed by a multi-day series of political events, according to 3 sources familiar with sensitive decisions. So Jonathan Swan says he has 3 different sources saying that the president is going to announce, former President Donald Trump is going to announce November 14th. Trump and his top advisors have been signaling for weeks that a 2024 announcement is imminent. Both those discussions have reached the point that allies are blocking off days on their calendar for the week after the midterms, preparing to travel so that all the big names can be in the room. November 14th, let's see. I have a comedy event. Wow, the next couple days. I don't know if I'll be there. I probably won't be there. With polls pointing towards a good night for Republicans on Tuesday, Trump plans to surf the GOP's expected post-midterm euphoria to build momentum for his own effort to retake the White House. Again, this is just kind of speculation. The bottom line here is, let's see. Oh, there's more to this article. A reality check at the bottom. Axios has a reality check. Trump, it's Trump, so anything could happen or not. He's conflicted on the timing, whether or not it's ever certain. But people who have been close to him for many years are lacing it up for the next race. So that should be interesting. There's a lot of people in the comment section saying vote Republican. That's fine. I am curious about whether or not it should be DeSantis or Trump in the comment section. I got to play some clips of this over this last week or so. There's been some interesting clips. So this is a clip of Donald Trump campaigning in Florida. Geez, I was in Florida at the same time. Obviously DeSantis was there, and Trump were in Florida doing rallies. Didn't make it either one of them. But this is positive Trump DeSantis in terms of how they're treating each other, at least publicly. Here's Donald Trump campaigning for, I believe, Marco Rubio, giving some praise to Ron DeSantis. If you haven't already, click the little like button. Would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button. Really helps us do so, especially let us know in the comment section who you think would be more likely to win the White House in 2024. There's a lot more that we can dive into, and we just might. But watch this clip of Trump being kind to DeSantis before we get into the more nasty stuff. Check it out.
People of Florida are going to re-elect the wonderful, the great friend of mine, Marco Rubio, to the United States Senate. And you're going to re-elect Ron DeSantis as your governor of your state. And you're going to elect an incredible slate of true MAGA warriors to Congress, many of whom are here right now. I think all.
So that's that. Donald Trump said Florida is going to re-elect Ron DeSantis. Everybody cheers. Great. Happy. Everybody's good. But then he went to Pennsylvania and said this. This is what's making the news. This is what's making the rounds. And this is why the Chiron says this is not going to be fun. I'll explain why I think it's not going to be fun in a second, but watch this. This is what Donald Trump said in Pennsylvania over the weekend, campaigning for one Mehmet Oz.
Trump at 71, Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%, Mike Pence at 7. Oh, Mike's doing better than I thought.
Okay, so that's Trump in Pennsylvania saying Ron DeSanctimonious, and the name calling has begun. In the comment section, I'm just looking at this anecdotally. It seems like there's a lot of division here too. Again, even in our own circle. And this is why I said at the beginning of this is not going to be fun. For me particularly, and I would hope for you, I am a policy person, not a person. I'm a policy, not a person. In that, if freedom-oriented, free market values are what's in charge of the government, I don't care who it is. It could be, I don't know, name a really, really random person. And if they have free market, freedom-oriented values, I'm all about it. I don't care who it is. But it seems in a lot of ways that a Trump-DeSantis butting heads against each other all throughout the primary could be bad. And if you don't think DeSantis is going to run, there's no way he doesn't. He would be the sitting governor, very popular governor of a swing state. He would be 6 years into his gubernatorial term. Everybody likes him. It doesn't make the time is now. The time is not to wait for Ron DeSantis. And again, I'm not talking about whether he should or should. I'm just talking about it doesn't make any sense for him to not run in 2024. There's a lot of people in the comment section too. And I've gotten a lot of messages saying it's Trump's time. We need redemption. DeSantis can wait. No, he can't. Literally, politically, he cannot. I've talked about Gavin Newsom in California and how Gavin Newsom was the most disappointed person in America that Donald Trump lost in 2020. We don't need to rehash that right now. Maybe we will in a little bit, but we'll see. What Ron DeSantis' time is now. It has to be now. If he waits until 2028, let's just assume that Trump wins in 2024. There's going to be an open seat, and generally, when there's open, the party flips back in the White House, and DeSantis will be a former governor. Maybe he takes like a Secretary of State job in the Trump administration. It doesn't make sense for Ron DeSantis to wait. The time is now. There's been so many instances politically of people waiting too long to run for president, and the moment just passes it by. Barack Obama is probably the best example. He knew the time was now to run. He was a senator, U.S. senator for 2 years when he decided to run for president of the United States. What kind of experience is that? None whatsoever. But he knew the timing, and he knew the time was now, and it worked out well for him. That's the same situation Ron DeSantis is in. Bottom line being, Ron DeSantis is going to also run. What I say by this is not going to be fun is there are very, very good arguments on both sides. And unfortunately, I think the conversation amongst freedom-loving, free market-minded people is going to be name-calling and dumb, stupid, not policy stuff. I think Ron DeSantis would be good to not get down in the mud. We know Trump will probably call names and all that sort of stuff, and that's just how that's all going to pan out. But it'll be really, really interesting to see those two duke it out. And what I mean by interesting is not fun for everybody. Now, I tweeted this the other day because I just think it is. Like in 2024, Democrats are, I think, going to hand Republicans a wide open layup. Nobody's in their way. Dribble, drive to the basket, lay it in nice and easy. Unfortunately, I think a lot of things are setting itself up to where Republicans are going to drive to the basket and throw the ball over the backboard into the stands. There are so many instances now in this midterm that are the same way. Look at Pennsylvania. John Fetterman. Who can't beat John Fetterman? The only person that can lose to the other is who's running against each other. Rather than, look, the Secretary of Sanitation could have won the Senate race. And now I'm not saying that Dr. Oz won't win in Pennsylvania. I'm just saying it is extremely close and nobody knows how this is going to shake out. But if it was just some podunk, I don't know, random interior Pennsylvania sanitation supervisor running against John Fetterman, the race wouldn't even be close. Same thing in Georgia. If it was literally anybody else running in Georgia against Raphael Warnock, it would be a sure win. And again, I don't know that these people are going to lose necessarily. I'm just saying it would be a sure win if Republicans didn't shoot themselves in the foot constantly. And this is what it seems like it's going to be for the 2024 election, which I don't even know why we're talking about it yet. The midterms haven't even happened. Donald Trump is probably going to announce after the midterms, but it's just not going to be fun. Bottom line is this is not going to be fun. Now, one of the caveats here that I think is going to be really interesting is if Georgia has one of these like wonky election laws that say like if nobody gets to 50% in that Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock race, then they go to this like runoff thing, which remember that happened in 2020 with Loeffler and the other guy. Both of them lost in January. But if it goes to a runoff, pretty much the entire country will be fixated on that race. And I would imagine that would delay the Trump announcement, not because he doesn't think this is going to like impact the Georgia election, but because I think Donald Trump wants as much attention as possible. And if a bunch of attention is going to the Senate race in Georgia that would culminate in January, I would imagine Donald Trump is going to say, I'm going to wait until all of the eyes are on me. So there is that. A lot of people in the comment section, again, kind of ambivalent. I feel like maybe it's me. Maybe it's me that's paying way too much attention to this way too early, because a lot of people are just saying, like Felipe is saying, vote red. Jeremy's saying red wave. And all of that is fine. But again, I think there's a bigger problem brewing within the Republican Party as a whole. Geez, wow. Some of these comments are kind of in depth too. Already voted all red. That's all fine, but we're missing. There's a lot of contention within the Republican Party that I feel like a lot of people are just kind of like taking not really all that seriously. Ukraine is going to be a big thing. Kevin McCarthy said that, hey, we're not going to have a blank check for Ukraine, which a lot of people agree with. A lot of people don't. What I'm getting at here is what I think I've been saying for a long time. I got it from a radio guy a couple years ago. The country currently is 4 parties trying desperately to be 2. It's pretty clear that the Democrat side are the super hyper woke AOCs of the world and like the moderates kind of like, just general liberals that kind of want a bigger safety net but aren't into transgender kids. There's huge infighting going on in the Democratic Party, but also there's going to be, or there already is, huge fighting going on in the Republican Party. I wish there weren't. That's what I'll say here. I'm going to move on from this, but I wish there weren't, because there's policy-wise, all of the facts are on the freedom-loving free market society people. And I hope we don't blow it. That's that. Let's get to midterms. Midterms. And again, maybe this is just me projecting onto this particular show dynamic. But my thought on this is it's almost over, finally. Silly season has been silly this year. There's been a lot of crazy commercials, crazy things said, and I am so excited for it to be over. Unfortunately, though, given that politics are now the national pastime, I'm not excited for perpetual elections from here until the end of time. Donald Trump announces, 6 days after the midterms? That means the 2024 race is on. I would imagine the New York Times, the Washington Post, everybody is going to start hitting Joe Biden incessantly until he announces that he won't run. And then Democrats are going to get in, and then it's just, we don't even get a month off. We don't even get a month off until elections start again, which is just a crazy way to run a society and look at it. But I wanted to get to a couple of these clips. Joe Biden was on the stump, Joe Biden was out doing different campaign events, and so was Barack Obama. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy how much better Barack Obama is at campaigning than literally every other Democrat. Now, part of that is because he's not 80 years old like the rest of Democratic leadership. They're either 80 years old or just completely incompetent. Talking about Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi literally being in their 80s almost. Or Kamala Harris, who's just completely incompetent. Again, Barack Obama, I disagree with him on policy, pretty much up and down the ballot. I just disagree with him entirely. That being said, he is a fantastic campaigner. He is so good on the stump, and he's just head and shoulders above everybody else. And I don't know, it's fascinating how much better he is at campaigning. But anyways, Joe Biden was also on the stump talking and made some of these comments which are making the rounds. This is kind of interesting. He was talking about oil. Now, not to get into the weeds nitty gritty, but the Ohio Senate race between Tim Ryan, I think the guy's name is, and J.D. Vance, the Republican J.D. Vance and then Democrat Tim Ryan, their debate was fascinating, kind of to watch J.D. Vance, the Republican, explain part of the reasons why gas prices are super high. Now, there's an argument on the Democrat side saying that, well, gas companies are getting greedy. Like, well, J.D. Vance explained, and I agree with him, and I've been saying this for a while also, that the Biden administration is at war with the oil companies. And what that would mean is that their future projections are going down. If the administration says, hey, you can't drill anymore or you can't make your product, I would also jack up prices because I don't have any confidence in the future of my entire industry. So that's a big argument of contention, especially in the state of Ohio in that Senate race. But also, Joe Biden is hinting at it here, and it would seem that the president is looking to prove the Republican argument correct when he says this. Check this out. This is at the end of his speech. The music starts playing, and then somebody yelled something about oil, and then he kind of continues to go. It's a really weird clip. But anyways, watch this. If you haven't already, I would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button, or letting us know in the comment section whether it's Trump Desantis or what's going on in the midterms. All of that sort of stuff. Let us know in the comment section. Would really appreciate you doing so. But check this out. This is a clip from Joe Biden, again, on the stump, making weird comments about oil.
No more drilling. There is no more drilling. I haven't formed any new drilling. No, that was before I was president. We're trying to work on that, get that done. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess just from a... Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Somebody basically just yelled at him until he answered the question, even though he was done speaking and the music had started playing, and they're like, please walk off the stage. And now he starts talking about oil. But then again, he proved the Republican point by saying there's no more drilling. Okay, well, That's a huge problem for the oil companies, and don't you think that they would react accordingly if they didn't have any confidence in their future ability to produce the one product that they make? Obviously, big companies try and transition and weave in and out of what's going on in politics and culturally and societally and from a resource standpoint. Hopefully, well, at least they're probably hoping that they adapt to whatever new energy sources are out there. And honestly, I wish them luck. I hope there is a cleaner way to generate all of the energy that we need in this country. That remains to be, like, even your leftiest of lefties, Bill Maher, would agree that, yeah, we don't have the capability to do that yet, so it'd be stupid to stop drilling. But I do. I like the environment. I don't make no apology for that. Having said that, we don't have the capability or the infrastructure to allow for getting rid of fossil fuels. But the Biden administration is saying that no more drilling. Well, that kind of proves the point that Republicans have been trying to make, is that the oil companies getting a little skittish here. The Biden administration seems to be at war with them. Anyways, from that same speech, Joe Biden talked about the importance of the midterm elections in terms of continuing democracy. Watch this nutso clip.
Look, this election isn't a referendum, it's a choice. It's a choice between two fundamentally different visions of America. I've said from the beginning, my objective when I ran was to build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. And I tell you what, it's a fundamental shift, and it's working compared to the mega Republican trickle-down economics.
Okay. Yeah. There's democracy at stake, and our policy is working, says Joe Biden. What are you talking about, says the rest of the world. But anyways, midterms. Almost over. I want to get some polling just in case you guys don't know these sorts of things. The Pennsylvania race is currently a dead heat. I'm reading from 538. 538 compiles, if you're into this wonky polling stuff, especially with midterms or even more local races, they compile all of the big major polls into one kind of like average poll, but they also look at the methodology that those polls use, and they give them a rank, and then that ranking inputs into what that poll actually is. So the bottom line here is the Senate race is dead even. The Georgia Senate race between Warnock and Herschel Walker is a +1 Republican right now. The Nevada race is +1 Republican. The Arizona race between Kelly and, Blake Masters is a +2 Democrat right now. Wisconsin's a +3 Republican. North Carolina +4 Republican. Ohio, J.D. Vance, we just talked about him, is a +5 Republican. Florida, Marco Rubio is up by 8 points. And the list goes on and on. Those are the big races. Oh, did I say Pennsylvania at the very beginning? That's right, because it's the most important one. Yeah, it's a dead heat right now in Pennsylvania and Georgia, effectively. And those are the big seats that I feel like Republicans are really, really looking to gain. There's also this that I think is freaking fascinating. The governor's races in a lot of your different races, I'm just looking polling-wise here. And again, tomorrow, well, not actually tomorrow. Tomorrow, all of the polls close, and you have to have voted by then. But hopefully very, very soon, sooner than later, we'll actually know the results of these and not have to mess around with these polls. But right now, the Arizona gubernatorial race between Hobbs is the Democrat. I don't even know who the Democrat is. They don't actually do any events. Katie Hobbs. That sounds right. Maybe it's not. But Carrie Lake is up by 3 in Arizona. But okay, this is the most fascinating one. This poll was even in a lot of ways for a long time. Now it's a D+2. But the state of Oregon, their gubernatorial race is basically a dead heat between the Democrat and the Republican. Now, a lot of you who don't live on the left coast don't know how crazy insane Oregon politics is. They have not elected Republicans very often for a very long time. And the fact that it's basically a dead heat between the Republican and the Democrat for the governorship of Oregon is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. If for some reason the Republican candidate up there in Oregon can pull off that election and defeat the Democrat in the state of Oregon, it will be nuts. Oh, Jody did say Katie Hobbs in Arizona. That's who the Democrat is. Yeah, this is wild. I don't know. It's all wild. And speaking of wild, I want to get to this lastly. This is a what in the world is this ad? Now, I know what they were going after, what they were trying to recreate. And if you know in the comment section, go ahead and let us know in the comment section what you think that John Fetterman, the guy running for the Senate in Pennsylvania, was trying to do here. But my big point is, this is a Senate race. Now, the Senate is arguably the most respected deliberative body on the planet. It's 100 people. That's it. Two people from each state. The Senate is a big deal. What I mean by that is, given that the Senate is a big deal, I want you to watch this Senate ad that has resurfaced and let me know if you think it's worthy of being a Senate race ad. This is John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. The most ridiculous commercial I've ever seen. Also, again, let us know what in the comment section. If you know where this is from, let us know. Be smart. Check it out.
I know you just give us. One more thing.
Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Fetterman,
Yeah,
you need any help?
I'm running for the U.S. Senate, kid. I need all the help I can get.
You're running for Senate?
Sure.
Where's your suit and your flag pin and your hair?
Oh, hey, kid.
I just want you to know I'd vote for you.
Hey, thanks, kid.
You want a drink?
Nah, no.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
See you around.
Hey, kid. Catch.
Wow! Thanks, Mayor John.
A lot of people in the comment section got the reference there. It was the Mean Joe Green commercial. But hey, guess what? Senate races are among the most expensive outside of gubernatorials and the presidential races, meaning that they have some money. So I don't know why the Fetterman campaign, this was from a while ago, just so you know, I'm not trying to say this is a recent ad that just got put out, but even from a while ago, hey, maybe don't use your iPhone to shoot a commercial for a Senate race. Hoodie Fetterman, man. Gabriel says, what in the poop emoji was that? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, crazy. I want to get to them in the comments because I think this is just funny. So this is, we talked to Trump or DeSantis in 2024. There's a lot of people that said this, what Chris said, Trump/DeSantis 2024, implying that Trump would run at the top of the ticket and Ron DeSantis would be the vice president. That is not going to happen. I just don't think that's going to happen. So, you know, is what it is. And I don't think that would happen because I don't think Ron DeSantis would do it. One, I don't think Trump would want to do it because I think he'd be overshadowed his entire 4 years in office if he were to win by people saying, well, DeSantis should be president instead. He doesn't want that. DeSantis doesn't want that because he thinks the time is now, which is. So there's that. A lot of comments like this, too. Jeff says, get back in your lane, DeSantis people. Frank says, Trump train. A lot of people on this side of this argument. Shoot, I thought I had favorited a couple DeSantis ones, too, because there was a lot of DeSantis. Here we go. Vicky says, DeSantis. Frank says, Trump. Shelley says, Trump. There's more DeSantis in there, and I just didn't, I don't know, favorite them to bring them up on the screen. But This is what I'm saying. This whole idea of Trump versus DeSantis, not to go back to this whole conversation again, is just not going to be fun. It's just not. I'm a policy person, not a people person. I don't actually care who it gets through. I just don't want for the policy to be lost in the personality contest between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. So there is that. Wow, so this is an interesting one. Craig says DeSantis Haley. That'd be a pretty unbeatable ticket. You also got to think too. A bunch of the Daily Wire guys. Michael Knowles put out a poll saying that who's going to be better in a general. I would probably say DeSantis, just from a polling standpoint. I think DeSantis would be better off in a general than Donald Trump, but I don't know. Is what it is. Look at this, still coming in. Amy says DeSantis. Diane says Trump. This is not going to be fun, people. Let's just focus on policy. Just whoever free market, freedom-oriented people, less government. Let's just go that direction rather than fight incessantly over these two personalities. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. As you can see, I'm a little bit frustrated. We possibly will have some election night coverage tomorrow from the dingy bunker. That would be over on my, so, you know, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we won't do a Jobob Unlimited episode today. Maybe we will. I don't know. But if you haven't got a chance, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. I do the Jobob Unlimited podcast on my Facebook page as well as YouTube. Facebook Chiron is wrong. Just type in Jobob, you'll be able to find me. Maybe we'll do some extended election night stuff tomorrow night. I'm going to be in Phoenix in the morning and coming back tomorrow night. So I'll be in the bunker, the bunker. This is like the first level of the bunker, and then you go down the bunker, and that's where the podcast gets filmed, just to make sure we're not infiltrated by anybody. But yeah, you can watch it there. Maybe we'll have some election night coverage. Maybe it'll be on the Daily Caller pages. But at this point, I'm just doing it on my page. So just click the little, just type in JOBOB on Facebook. You'll be able to find me. Maybe we'll have some fun, interesting guests on to talk about the election night coverage. But other than that, tomorrow's voting day. I'm excited for midterms to be over and done with. But we'll keep chugging along if that's the main thing in the news, as long as it's the main thing in the news. And we'll see if Trump announces on the 14th and all of that stuff. That's going to do it for us today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. I'm not sure about the same place. We might end up doing tomorrow's show from Phoenix, which actually seems more likely than not, given the flight time. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time, different place. Adios. Until then, God bless America.